Have you ever wanted to own one of those big, amazing bachelorette properties, but had no idea how to? Well, I am here in Denver, Colorado at Champagne House, an amazing 12-person bachelorette pad, and I cannot wait to show it to you as well as the owner's story. But make sure to stay till the end because I will be giving you a full tour of this amazing, fun, colorful property. The owner's name is Seena and Ghetmeri, and him and his wife actually now invest in real estate and buy short-term rentals here in Denver, Colorado. We actually met over Instagram, so if you're not on social media, get on social media. You never know where the opportunity is. But we just started chatting, and then suddenly I was being interviewed on his podcast, and here I am at their short-term rental. Also, make sure to add a link to Seena and Kacia's podcast. It's awesome. It's all about real estate investing, so you should really go check it out. I'll even put a link to my episode that's in there. A lot of people get really intimidated about investing in short-term rentals in places like Denver, Austin, San Francisco because of that high price point. And that actually turns a lot of real estate investors away from this market. So why on earth did they even decide to invest in Denver, Colorado? Let's hear from Seena.
First off, investing in Denver, when we started getting into short-term rentals, my wife and I, we wanted to stay local for the first few so that we can have the ability to learn the skills and the knowledge and be hands-on a little bit, just to gain our skill set to then scale our portfolio further. So we thought investing locally would be a great way to do that, as well as Denver's just a great hub. I think people come here year round. It's a big metro city. It has a big draw. There's mountains. The city life is cool. Red Rocks is awesome. People can go skiing. I just think it's a year-round city, so that really drew us into invest there.
Okay, so that's all well and dandy, but if you know the Denver market, it's pretty freaking hot. A lot of people get beat out by other offers, but the interesting thing is that Seena and Kacia used a very specific and unique method to actually acquire this property.
So for this property, if you're looking at Denver County, it is pretty difficult to find properties. I think the real estate market here is really great. But what I did is I went on Zillow and I looked at for rents. So if you go to the for rent section, see what's available, and then I just start calling those owners and just see if they want to sell. And this particular property, I saw that it was for sale for about 6 months and it didn't sell. And then the owner flipped it to put it up for rent and it still hasn't been rented. So I knew that seller was probably more willing to at least be open to the idea of selling the property. So we reached out to him and he actually was. So we've done a creative finance deal before. However, that property was paid off. This one had a mortgage on it and the seller was looking to get his equity out of the deal. He recently flipped it. However, due to the economic climate and where interest rates were, it was a tough time for him to get the price that he wanted. So I believe that's why he hasn't sold yet. He really wanted to get this number. He had his equity tied up in the deal. So what we did is we structured a sub-2 deal where we'll go ahead and pay his mortgage payment that he has on the house, and then we're going to pay out his equity to him every month. That allowed us to get to the price that he wanted. So we structured it in a way that we took over his mortgage, which was 5.9% interest, which is great for us. That worked for our payment. And then his equity, we pay out at actually 0% interest, because that's how it could only work for, the numbers that we wanted. He didn't mind getting money paid out over, this one's 7 years, and then he'll get all paid out at the end of that.
How much did the property actually cost? Because as we know, Denver, pretty high price points. And then also, how much are they actually making? Is it enough to pay for their mortgage?
So this property, we went under contract at $935 was the purchase price. We did a sub-2 deal where we took over the seller's mortgage payment. We used a servicing company to pay that. The mortgage is about $680, and then the rest is the seller's equity. We did 10% down. So that was roughly, $93,000 out of pocket to get the house. We then put about $70,000 into the house with furnishings and some of the remodel we did. And then we're expecting to cash flow between $5,000 and $8,000 a month. But over the year, we expect to net about $80,000. And that math, roughly about 30% cash on cash.
And as always, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and the little bell notification button. That way I know if you actually like these property tours, these short-term rental tours, and it gives me the signal to make more videos like these. So the cool thing about Seena is he didn't actually start off as a real estate investor. He's a dentist at first. So let's hear a little bit more about his story and how he even got into real estate investing.
So I used to be a dentist, and those days were, it wasn't my calling. So there was one day where I was just like, you know what, this isn't for me. I've always been interested in real estate. I've heard some people doing it. I'm like, I think I could be good at this. And I ended up leaving dentistry to pursue real estate investing. And I told myself, I'll give myself 6 months to try this out and see what I can do with it. And as soon as I left, I knew I wasn't going back. But I did struggle for the first few months, probably about 10 months of just kind of analysis paralysis, where I thought I just needed to learn more, read all the books, listen to all the podcasts. And looking back now, we've been actively investing the last year. I would say actually buying properties, and we've learned so much more in that time frame than we actually have before, even just like the knowledge phase, right? So my advice would be get started as soon as you can, because that's the only way you can gain those skills. And looking back now, it just accelerated our real estate investing journey.
Now, Seena and Kacia have been incredibly successful in their short-term rental journey, but I wonder, if they had to start over, what would they change? And what advice would they give for any rookie real estate investors who are looking to get in the game, especially here in Denver?
I think if I were to start over, what I would do is, if we could go back 5-6 years, I would start house hacking. You know, my wife and I rented places everywhere we lived. If we knew what we knew now, we'd go back and purchase a house, do a duplex, do some kind of house hack. Every year, buy one, move out, just to start that real estate investing journey. I think that's probably the easiest and safest way someone can start. Also, just getting out of analysis paralysis and not having to worry about knowing all the information, because there's so much that goes on in a real estate transaction that if you think you're going to have to know every single step from finding a deal to how to deal with a tenant issue, you're never going to get started, because you're never going to feel like that you know enough. So what I would do is just think about the next few steps, like how do I find a deal? How do I fund the deal? Okay, and then we'll worry about tenant management and how we're going to handle anything that arises. You know, there's random things happen, and you just figure it out. There's nothing that's happened to a house that can't get fixed. So I wouldn't worry about that stuff. It's happened before. Just focus on the next few steps ahead of you.
But so obviously not every single property is doing this well in Denver, but Seena and Kacia took a very interesting strategy that you should definitely hear about.
So when we decided to get into Airbnb investing, my wife and I, she has a large women's community. We know the power of niching down and really speaking to your person to attract them to the property. So we really kept that in mind as we went into the first 2 properties that we've done. They're more catered towards women's groups, girls' retreats, bachelorette parties. And we really ask ourselves, someone that's staying there, what would they want? What kind of decor would they want? You know, what are the amenities that they want? And keeping that kind of front of mind, I think sometimes it can be scary to niche it down to make it look, I don't know, more girly or whatever. You might be churning off people that could otherwise book. Maybe families and guys groups don't want to book, but the people that it is for, they end up booking and wanting to stay there. So our calendar stays filled with the exact demographic. And a side perk of that is we know who's coming in that group every weekend and what they want, and we can cater the experience to them so much better because we know exactly what they're looking for. That allows us to streamline everything and keep it rolling with minimal management.
So really such an interesting strategy was taken with this place. Instead of trying to cater to every single person out there, they really focused on their avatar and niched down to pretty much alienate a lot of the population. But that's why they're doing so well. They very much have their avatar in mind and can gear the property for those people. I want to give you a little tour here. I'm here at Champagne House, and it is filled with bright colors. And as you know, I am obsessed with colors. Like, the avatar for who this house was made for is me. Straight up, it's me. This place has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and so many fun little communal spaces that make it perfect for a bachelorette party. And then, are you freaking kidding me with this hand-painted mural? Like, it's so cute. There is so much fun wallpaper everywhere. I'm freaking obsessed with it. They even have these vanity stations that are perfect for getting ready with a big group. If you have gone on a big group with girls, we're all trying to do our makeup, trying to do our hair, having something like this is incredible. So on point. And then there is this babe cave. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds in this space. And if you are someone who has been on a girls' party, we all want to get together in the same room and hang out and sleep in the same bed. That's just how it goes. And I am totally obsessed with this wallpaper up here. Once again, as we know, I love wallpaper. I was about to say I'm a hoe for wallpaper. Whatever, keep that in. And now in the basement, they've got this ginormous, super fun couch. And it is just perfect. And you've got a little table here with neon pink chairs and such fun pictures everywhere. It's just wonderful. Does every room need wallpaper? I'm just gonna go ahead and say that the answer to this is yes. Like, are you kidding me? How fun. And they even have this cool lounge just as extra living space. And it's so fun. Like, look at those black couches. That way they can do cool activities here, get together, and just have another space to hang out and enjoy here in Denver. You try and tell me that you wouldn't want to stay here. I dare you. And if you really want to check out a super cool short-term rental that caters towards couples specifically, you should check out this video over here.